Hi guys, and welcome to the next episode in our video tutorial series on setting up a gRPC server in Go. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at some of the generated code that is used with gRPC. And so one of the benefits of using protocol buffers is the protocol buffer compiler, which is known as protoc. And so going over to the official website, you can sort of see over here that there's a protoc, and it takes in a .proto file, and in return can generate code in many languages for many different resources. And so our focus is going to specifically be on gRPC's use of the protocol buffer compiler to generate client and server-side stubs that are used in the creation of gRPC servers. And so yeah, it's really cool. In the case of gRPC, this protoc is used to take a proto file as input and then generate server and client stubs, which are used for implementing a server in gRPC. And so we're going to be taking a deep dive into some of that code today. So continuing from the last episode where we set up our .proto files for our inventory and point of sales service, the Alice build light command line tool offers some really cool support for taking a .proto file and executing protoc commands on the cloud. And so it's going to provide us the client and server-side stubs that we need to implement our gRPC server. And it's also going to take our .proto file and offer us some really cool scaffolding that's going to help accelerate the speed at which we can implement our server in Go. But the focus of this episode is mainly going to be on the client and server-side stubs to try and give you guys a better understanding of what's happening internally with gRPC. So to get started, we're going to cd into our resources inventory v1 directory. And in this directory is the .proto file, which we specified in the last episode. And so to generate boilerplate code and the client and server-side stubs, we're going to run an alice proto gen boilerplate in the directory of our proto file of interest. So we're going to be focusing on an implementation in Go, and I'm interested in having some server and client code scaffolding. Cool, so we see it's generated a set of files which have been placed under this Go directory. And so in our next episode, we're going to be touching on these files over here, which is where we're going to actually implement our gRPC server. But what I want to take a look at right now is the client and server-side stubs that are generated for gRPC. And so starting here, the first thing that we note is this inventory client interface. And so as it suggests in the name, this is a client for our inventory service. And it consists of the 5 methods that we specified last time: create product, get product, update product, delete product, and list products. And further to that, we see that there is a constructor for the inventory client. We have this function over here called new inventory client. And what we do is we pass a gRPC connection to this function, and in return it provides us a client to that server on which we can then call these methods. And so this is the client stub component of gRPC. The second component that I want to point out to you guys is the server stub. So if we look here, we've got an inventory server, and essentially what this is an interface on which we are going to implement the logic that lies at the heart of each of these methods. And yeah, once we've implemented all the logic behind these methods, we can simply attach this interface to a gRPC server to be able to serve gRPC clients. So to just try and contextualize things a little bit, I thought I would put the server interface on the left and bring up the sort of scaffolding for our actual server implementation on the right. And so what we can see here is that in our generated code, we have this unimplemented inventory server. And on this unimplemented inventory server, we've got a create product, get product, update product, delete product, and list products method. And so this is essentially an implementation of this interface that is defined over here. And so in our methods.go file, we create a copy of this interface and we call it my inventory. And on this object, we are going to go and implement the create product, the get product, the update product, delete product, and list product method, and actually attach the business logic to this interface. And yeah, once we've essentially completed all the business logic over here, in the server, we simply create a new gRPC server and attach to it the inventory object on which we implement the server interface over here. And yeah, all of this generated code is going to really help accelerate the speed at which we implement this Go gRPC server. And that is going to be the focus of our next video.